Okay. Hello, my fellow sensitive people. Okay, I'm really excited. As you can see from the setup, we are about to do our monthly pick a card. This is something that we do once a month to help you get ready for the energy that's coming for the month of August. Time is flying. I just cannot believe how fast time is flying. All right. So before we get started, if you could like, share, and subscribe to the stream, it would be fantastic for me because we are trying to get to 150. Yeah, 150 subscribers. Okay. So you know the drill. You know the drill. We have three decks here, and I hope you like them. We have the Morgan Greer on the far left. I don't know how you're seeing it. This thing sometimes mirrors. I don't know what it's doing today, but we have the Malachite and the Morgan Greer. That is deck one. And the second card in the middle, we have the Rider Waite. That is the second deck. And we have some very nice tiger's eye. Love that amulet. And third pile is some Smoky Quartz. And that is with the Radiance deck. That is the Radiance deck. So we want you to go ahead and just meditate and think about the energy you're trying to create. Okay, so this is deck one, the Malachite. Number two, deck two is the Tiger's Eye. And deck three is the Smoky Quartz. Which deck do you feel is drawing you? Which deck do you feel you need to work with? Which resonates with you energetically? Because each has a ton of Akashic records we're going to pull out of each deck. We will pull the Akashic record out. It's based on the idea of a collective consciousness. Carl Jung talked about that we are all connected. We have a hive mind. So take a moment to meditate, really get into this, and feel which deck is calling you. Okay, so if you picked deck number one, this is deck number one. We will be picking four cards for you to tell you how the month is going for you. We'll give you a couple of tips and hopefully we'll give you a little bit of information also about the malachite stone. Okay, for those people who picked pile number one and you also picked a malachite, there's a lot of different opinions about malachite. It has a green tone and it is often used for healing work and opening up the heart chakra. But many people are concerned that when you open your chakra up with malachite, you can sometimes become vulnerable to vampires and also attracting energetic parasites. So malachite kind of is great in the sense that it can open your heart and do great healing work, but it is often paired with something like a jet or an obsidian in order to keep you grounded and protected. Just something to think about here. It's a little obsidian, a little bit of jet and those can ground you. So just energetically, the fact that you picked malachite tells me that you are trying to open your heart and be receptive, but you also have to be careful that you are not attracting, because you are healing your heart, you're doing heart-centered work right now. You really want to be careful that you are not attracting parasites. Right? So that would be the first thing I would say to somebody who's attracting the malachite stone. Where you're at right now, it is very likely that you are somebody who was attracted to becoming a therapist or a counselor or a heart-centered person. First off, you were attracted to malachite, so that already gives me information about you. You were attracted to the green, which is one of the colors associated with the fourth chakra, which has to do with open energy and healing. And your card of identity, which falls in the seventh house in a Celtic spread, is that of the King of Cups, who is loving, who is the counselor, but he is highly emotional. He's the bridge over troubled water. He can sometimes struggle with addiction. He is empathic. Your house of opposition this month is mastery. You could find yourself procrastinating, not able to focus on those things you need to focus on in order to be successful, in order to be the master. So just make sure you sit down after this reading and you make a list of everything that you want to accomplish this month, because it sits in the house of opposition. So you're somebody who's on the journey of mastery. You can certainly be a professional. You can reach the heights of success in your given or chosen profession, but you must get organized at this time. And you must use August to focus on discipline, which sits in your house of opposition. Here is the month of August. It comes in the eighth month with the Eight of Wands. I read wands as time. Wands tell us about time and space. So for the month of August, your biggest obstacle, they want you organized. Get yourself on a clock or join a group where the next 2 hours you will be working on such and such task. Avoid hyper emotionalism. Do not be a therapist to everyone, my love. I know you're the King of Cups and you want to save the world, but now is a time for you to focus on discipline. Be careful about your love life. A little bit of a challenge with your love life, in the sense that you do have a great love life potentially happening for you with that Lovers card moving in. The only problem I have with that is that it could lead to more procrastination. You wind up on a great date with a really cool person, and then the next thing you know, you don't want to be working on your mastery because you're too busy having a really great time. And that's one of the risks we can see with a Lover's card coming in a King of Cups, this possibility of a new romantic situation heating up for you in August. Dark aspects of that could also be compromise, that you could be compromising yourself. You may be somebody who's been betrayed in the past. You've been lied to, that false hearts. You've been broken, false hearts. You will get your wish regarding what you choose or wish to master. But again, watch discipline. Your hope and fear, watching your heart, Two of Swords, and not getting distracted by false loves, cheating loves, heartbreaking loves. Final outcome is the Hanged Man. If love is true, they will support you being disciplined, developing your career, getting that BA, that MBA, that PhD. Right now, any distractions, including romantic, that's not the focus of August. The focus of August is finishing that work, doing the mastery, and hold off on love and be careful a little bit in that area. It doesn't mean you can't have a beautiful, loving relationship in September, but for the month of August, we're talking about discipline. And if you do that, you're going to see huge advances in your career and professional life. You're going to be very proud of yourself. Okay. All right. Congratulations for those of you who picked pile number 2, Tiger's Eye. Wisdom, strength, and bravery comes to you at this time, for you have chosen Tiger Eye. And it gets in there and it removes our fears and our blocks, and it allows us to be more brave and courageous. It also gives us the wisdom and truth we need. So you are attracted at this time to bravery, to taking calculated risk, and standing up for the truth and the things that you believe in. This is a lovely card, but this is a lovely stone, excuse me. But you may want to protect yourself just because you do have this kind of. This is great for healing, by the way. I use Tiger's Eye when I'm dealing with people who have digestive upset, stuff that's churning around in the digestive tract. I will often, this is the stone I will use when I'm trying to deal with blocks in that area, because it's warm and it can move stuck energy. and I've always used it in my healing practice around that area of the small intestine. It tends to do very well. Okay, let's take a look. It has the colors that we think of when we think of the liver and we think of bile and waste. And I find that it resonates in healing work in the GI system. Your first message today has to do with service work. You have come to this world to serve, and you have come with a strong passion as well, a passionate need. A passionate need to stand up for the truth, a passionate need to serve those who cannot care for themselves. Your house of opposition at this time, your biggest house of opposition has to do with not allowing people into your life that could be destructive or negative. But the good news is you stand with the eighth house being the Five of Swords, your house of opposition. You will drive obstacles away. There could be some traveling happening for you as well. Possibility of concerns regarding a trip and the possibility of a romantic encounter, possibly on a trip, could be coming for you in the future. We see the Lovers card associated with a trip. Think about the Southwest area if you are thinking of a vacation, because the Knight of Wands heads southwest. I'm seeing major changes in your economic situation, possibly new investments, and that is for the better. Your house of obstacles, if people are getting in your way, it may be time or a sign to move on and try things that are different. Maybe you are in the wrong place. They got this location. Oh, right. So somebody is battling with you. Someone's battling with you and say they want to take territory. This could be a situation where you say, great, well, I've moved on in my career, so you can go ahead and have it. This is someone who refocuses financially, moves into service work, also could be investing. This is the kind of energy you'll get when you have somebody who's a banker or accountant or somebody who is involved in social work. But the idea here is somebody who is trying to create justice, often economic justice. They are caring for those who cannot care for themselves, and they are refraining from helping those who are toxic. They understand balance. People who get into civil welfare, fighting the good fight to help the vulnerable, would also fall into this category. That's why I see a lot of social workers getting the Six of Pentacles, activists, community organizers, etc. will often get a card like that. And they're basically saying that you're a service oriented person, you fight for justice, you're very passionate about it. Your financial investments will go well in the coming months. Your house of obstacles, you have people that are fighting for territory in a way, let them have it because it won't be obstructing you in your path. Your path is elsewhere. And they're talking about you potentially taking a trip. Possibly, I'm getting a direction of the southwest. I'm seeing something also that has to do with fathers, relationship with fathers, and healing relationships with fathers as well, being significant in this group, communicating with fathers, whether past, deceased, or and concerns about the father energy here. Final outcome for you is if you want to have love in your life and romance, if you want to put on those dancing shoes, maybe spend a little time in South America, learn to do a little flamenco, maybe in Spain, or a little bit of tango in Argentina. But it's this idea of the sun coming out and this salsa kind of energy, and possibly new romance or a new love, a joie de vie coming for you this summer. It's a great summer, it's a great spread, and I like what I see. Great reading, great job. Yeah, it's a good reading. Okay, congratulations to those of you who selected pile number 3. This is for pile number 3. You chose Smoky Quartz. This is my personal selection of stones that I use in my office, in my clinic, when I am doing healing energy. And this is a stone that I often will put around the sixth and seventh chakra when people's minds are cloudy, often due to previous history of abuse, gaslighting, or drug use, anything where they have to clear any kind of obstacle or confusion. Well, I often lay it around the sixth and seventh chakra to just help absorb and clear some of that confusion. So that is the stone I use for that. All right, let's take a look and see what is going on for group three. Maybe it's a time for you to clear your head. Start feeling like you need to be more grounded. Get your mind back. And your first house is you seek justice. You seek justice absolute. You could be facing lawsuits or taking legal action, waiting on an inheritance. Maybe you're suing because you were in a car accident, but there is a legal energy around this group. Legal issues, the law, your house of opposition, who you are having an issue with or who you are dealing with is the Queen of Wands, stubborn people, people who refuse to change, people that are going to do it my way or the highway, impenetrable people. It is your karma, they say. So they have a karmic relationship, possibly with difficult relationships, often females who are aggressive or territorial. That may have been part of the karma you're dealing with at this time. There could also be potential legal actions with this person. And the final outcome is that Archangel Michael is the archangel that's working with you at this time. Archangel Michael has to do with protection. He brings the sword of truth. And that tells me whatever legal fight or legal challenges you've had with people, you will probably win. The truth is going to come out. Whatever issues you're having with other people, whether it's legal or it's moral or ethical, things work out for you. And you can see that Six of Cups moving in, which is a desire often for mediation, return to the garden, try and get back to the good ways. A judgment is over somebody who has harmed you. Your hope and fear is you're concerned about your own karma. You're concerned about completion of your own karma. Ace of Swords is to be victorious over one's karma. So you're probably a pretty conscientious person. I think you're somebody, I haven't met you, but I can feel your energy because I'm doing this reading. You're somebody who's always questioning yourself. You're always questioning your ethics. That would be somebody who would be attracted to this stone. I got to clear my head. I got to think again. I got to get my mind back. And also, this is someone who may have gotten pushback from people who were very, very aggressive. Maybe they were a little crazy. So, this is somebody who's trying to get their power back, possibly even legally, or they're divorcing or ending relationships with others. The truth is on your side. You're good at questioning yourself, doubting yourself, pursuing the truth at all costs. These are all noble pursuits. And questioning whether or not you're doing it right. Did I screw up? How could I have done better? How can I improve? What are the ethics of my actions? What were the moral consequences? This is a highly conscientious person to have attracted that stone. And then the final outcome for you is you may have to get a divorce or end relationships that once were significant to you, if you haven't already, because the Eight of Cups comes in. The truth is, you walk away. So this is somebody who you may have tried multiple times to have a loving relationship with difficult people. Six of Cups is somebody who comes in, they try to be all loving and a judgment against this harsh person. Did I do right by others? And then Eight of Cups, it could be a time for you to just walk away, not argue with others, move on, and know that you are a good person, that you asked the right questions, and that you are seen energetically as having completed your karma in an ethical way. Go forward and be as ethical as you can be, rectifying any imperfections. We can see this kind of, demand for clarity, not just the stone you picked, but you also called consciously or unconsciously, on Archangel Michael, who clears the clouds. And that is what this quartz does. So you are definitely a truth seeker. Did I do right? Did I screw up? How did I screw up? How can I do better? These are great questions. And I think it speaks to your integrity, group three. And you will work it out. And if others have a problem with you, maybe it is time to give them peace, Six of Cups, and then move on, which appears to be what's happening for you. All for the better. You will complete your karma victoriously, and you need not fear long term karmic repercussions. Okay, that is your pick a pile readings for groups 1, 2, and 3. I hope you enjoyed them. If you're trying to get in for a reading with me, if you need a consult, you can contact me by booking an appointment through Booksy, Dr. Whimsy Anderson Booksy. And I would love to call you and have a session with you. All that information is below this video. Be kind to all so that all will be kind to you too. God bless. Peace out. We'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.